What's the dealio? Microphone check. Let's see. All right. I think my audio sounds halfway decent. All righty, people. Shout out to everybody who has subscribed to the Tech G channel, whether you're watching now or you'll be watching in the future. Shout out to all 16,000 of y'all. How many of y'all are subscribed to my channel? There's 16,400 of y'all. Appreciate the subscription. I appreciate everybody who shares my content. And I want to give a shout out to the people that actually contact me, that actually say that their teachers in high school or their teachers in college are using my channel to teach their IT courses. So shout out to all of those educators out there doing the right thing, educating your students, and using me as a resource. I appreciate that. So let me see who's up in here. Shout out to my man Business Talk with K. If you guys want to go learn some information about just general business stuff, Business Talk with K is that dude. I speak to him on a regular basis and we chop it up about various things concerning business. Because, even though I do teach IT on YouTube, this is a business for me, a side business, not my main job, but this is what, I do. And I try to get results for the peoples. All right. Who else do I want to give a shout out to? I want to shout out my man AM1. AM1, I think he has a new channel where he's doing like fitness, health style related content. And I want to give him a shout out because AM1, I spoke to him on the phone recently. And AM1 told me I need to step my YouTube presence up. He was like, bruh, there's no reason why you shouldn't have 60,000 plus subscribers by now. He was like, you need to stop wearing them doggone t-shirts. You need to get you some button ups. You need to get you some lights, some cameras. You need to jazz this thing up. You need to put some decorations on that wall back there. You need to spruce up the YouTube channel and get your presence on and popping. So here's the thing. I think moving into 2024, I might actually put some effort into jazzing up my YouTube presence because, my man's AM1, he works in media. He does a bunch of, he designs commercials and records commercials and all this other stuff for other businesses in the Oakland, California area. And he was like, this is what you need to do. So I think I'm going to take a couple of dollars. I'm going to go down to the store. I'm going to buy me some button-up shirts just for this YouTube channel. I'm going to get me a new camera. I might even get me some more lights. And we're going to try to jazz this thing up to make it look professional. Because, here's the thing. For the longest, this is what I've been thinking about this channel. I didn't really want to come on here trying to be like the flashiest dude. I got the flyest setup, the most elaborate backdrop with all the toys and gizmos and books and all that stuff. I just came on here. I'm like, yo, I got this information sitting in my brain that is going to be beneficial to those of y'all who are learning how to get into IT. And I'm just here to give you the information, let you use it, run with it. Hopefully you get certified. Hopefully you get a job. And then guess what? I'm chucking deuces on y'all because I'm finna go over there and hang out with my wife and kids and do what a husband/father is supposed to do. That's my thinking. But my man's was like, nah, B, we gotta fix this YouTube channel. He's like, you got all this knowledge, but you need to step it up. So I think 2024, I'm gonna try to make a halfway effort to step it up. I'm not making any guarantees. I did get a new microphone though, so I did do that. But anyways, I want to go ahead and address some questions here. So I don't remember the last time I did a live stream. And also for those of y'all who are subscribed to the channel. So with the live streams, I'm gonna try to do. My goal was to do these at least once a week, right? That was my goal. But life happens, and obviously, I haven't been able to do these things once a week. And you're like, what's been going on in your life, Tech G? Well, I got wife, I got kids, man, and I got a full-time job. I just don't have time to be live streaming all the time. But I want to try to do this, if not once a week, every 2 weeks, or at least once a month. And we're going to aim for at least once a month where I do a live stream. And I'm just going to try to address questions and concerns because I do read all the comments you guys post. And then if they're interesting enough, I'll screenshot them. And I'm like, I'll probably address that in a later video or something like that. So I want to try to do that. All right. So that's what I'm going to try to work on. But anyways, I want to go ahead and address some questions real quick that was brought to me. Try to give you the best answer I can give you, especially as this relates to those of y'all who are trying to get into IT. So let me find my screen share here. Here we go. All right, here we go. All right, so we got my man's here. He goes by the name of Blunts and Beats. Blunts and Beats. I wonder what he's doing in his off time. Blunts and Beats. My man says, I had a 24/7 help desk position, but I didn't gain a lot of experience other than monitoring scene, triaging, and creating tickets, installing patches, and updating Office PCs for clients. Then he says, and they laid me off last December. Well, that's really the only experience that I have aside from working on the Google Cybersecurity Certificate and completing job simulation learning modules, along with my customer service experience. He says, can I leverage this experience for another position, or do I need more experience? All right. So that's the first question we're going to address. Your man, shout out to Blunts and Beats. Blunts and Beats. But shout out to Blunts and Beats, right? So he had a job, working help desk, got laid off, and he wants to know, is that enough experience for him to utilize that to get another job? So this is what I tell my students all the time. All of my students that I deal with online, or some of the ones that I deal with offline, or whatever the case may be. Normally when I talk to people about getting into IT, I always use the example of getting started at the help desk. And the reason why I do that is not to say that that is the only place you can start. In my opinion, that is the easiest way to transition into IT, is through the help desk. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to go through the help desk. You can bypass the help desk to where you might be able to qualify for jobs like a system administrator or a system administrator, or depending upon what path and tech you want to go, some type of junior network engineer, or whatever random crazy title that they have out there. Because that's another thing when it comes to these IT titles, right? Some of y'all will send me emails and messages asking me about, what does this job do? And here's the thing. You have to send me a job description so that I can read exactly the details of what this job title does. Because when you guys go work at these companies, they'll have all these elaborate job titles that'll sound really, really cool, right? Something really nice to put, on your business card, have on your door, whatever the case may be. But it might be the same thing as doing a help desk job once you actually read the job descriptions. So you guys got to send this to me. And shout out to Yogi X. What does he say? Cloud engineer, data engineer. Which one is a long-lasting I can't even read. Which one is a long-lasting career to whereas AI will not take effect? All right, so we're going to get back to that. Let me address these other ones first, but we're going to get back to that, Yogi. Appreciate that. So let's talk about this help desk job. So my man's here says he got a help desk job, got laid off or something like that, but he has experience monitoring SIEM. That's security. What is that? Security event information management. Basically, he's dealing with some cybersecurity type of stuff right there. Triaging, creating tickets, basically just going out there, dealing with trouble tickets and all that stuff, installing patches, updating Office PCs for clients. He got laid off. He's been working on this Google Cybersecurity Certificate and doing some on-the-job learning modules. He wants to know if he could leverage that as experience. So yes, you can leverage that as experience. So like I said, getting back to what I was talking about when I tell students about the help desk, I always use help desk as just an example. That's not to say that everybody's going to start at the help desk. No, that's not it. It's just the easiest example for me to kind of paint the picture of where I'm trying to get these people to see the vision as far as their tech career is concerned. So even if you do get a job starting off at the help desk, you're running around plugging in network cables, resetting username and passwords, setting up video display monitor, whatever the heck they have you doing these days, right? All of that can be used as experience to help you get another position. And one of the things you guys got to do when you guys go get a job, working in tech, whatever, especially if you're like a young person and you're just now starting your career, whatever the case may be, you need to get a notebook of some sorts, whether digital or physical, and actually start writing down the things that you do on a daily basis. That's what you need to do. When I was in the Army, y'all know I was active duty in the military for 13 years. We used to carry around these little green books. I used to have it in my cargo pants or whatever. And we just have a bunch of notes or whatever the case that was written up in there. But what I used to do with my book, I used to write down every single thing that I did, because what it was at the end of the year, whatever the case may be, we used to have to do what is called an NCOER, a non-commissioned officer evaluation report. And basically, this was basically, a report stating whether or not I can get promoted or whatever the case may be, or I can go up for a promotion. Well, oftentimes your senior, your boss is supposed to write your NCOER. But in my chain of command, I had a bunch of NCOs that didn't want to write my NCOER because they may have had like 10, 20 other people that they had to deal with or whatever the case may be. So I learned early on in my military career, I had to start writing my own NCOER. And the only way I could really write my NCOER is when I had to go through my little notebook and look at all of my notes and figure out, what did I do in this month? Back in April of 2023, I went to the weapons range. I helped train X amount of soldiers to get them, teach them basic rifle marksmanship, and I had X amount qualify on the weapons range, yada, yada, yada. The following month, I took the APFT, the Army Physical Fitness Test, and I scored this. So basically, I had to have all this stuff written down in my book. So when it was time for me to do my NCOER, my evaluation report, I could just go in there and extract that information from the book and start click-clacking and typing away and putting in all these bullet points of everything that I did. And then I would send that up to the chain, to my senior, whoever that was, whether it was an E6, E7, or E8 or whatever, give it to them. They would look over it, make annotations and corrections, send it back to me. I'd fix the stuff, and then we send it on up, and hopefully that was enough for me to get promoted or get looked at for promotion or whatever the case may be. This is what you guys should do with your career as well. Even if you are starting off at the help desk, because my man's here, he says he's worked at a help desk 24/7, and it doesn't seem like he realizes all of the things that he may have gotten experience in that he can utilize to help him get another position that might offer him more money because of all the things he's been exposed to and all the systems and things of that he's been trained on. So he's in here talking about monitoring scene, triaging, creating tickets, installing patches, updating office PCs for clients. All of that stuff is stuff that can be documented and annotated on your resume, right? There's ways you can dress it up and word it up. Obviously, we're not going to go into that in this video because I will be here forever. And I actually got a class I got to teach at 7:00 p.m. So obviously I'm not going to go through all of that. But there are things that you can take all of that little bit of information and you can actually dress that up into bullet points of sorts to demonstrate on your resume. Yeah, you have experience doing this, yada, yada, yada. And then you get with somebody who knows how to write resumes professionally, whether it's somebody that you know or it's a service that you got to pay. And there are ways that they can dress that up to make it look fly and fancy. And one example I always give of how to do that, right, is I always like to give this example. I tell people, how do you, if your job was to go out there and change light bulbs, like how would you dress that up on a resume to make it seem like your job was more fly or more sophisticated than what it actually was of you dressing up or changing light bulbs? And so I tell people, well, what you can do, how you can reword that on a resume. Like I say, let's just say you went out there and you installed 50 light bulbs. One way that you can make that sound more fly and more extravagant than what you did is just by changing it up. You could change it up to saying you successfully installed 50 illumination systems, right? Because a light bulb is an illumination system. So instead of you just saying light bulb, maybe you can find ways to substitute synonyms and all that stuff in there to make it seem fly and fancy so that hopefully, your resume kind of stands out. But to my man Blunts and Beats here, shout out to your name, Blunts and Beats. Yes, depending upon I don't even know how long you've been working at that job. You could have been working there 3 months, 6 months, a year. I don't know. But based off of what you left in this comment here, it seems like you do have enough experience to where you can leverage that into another job and possibly a higher position, which possibly comes with more money. because we all like money. That's why y'all are trying to learn IT in the first place, right? So yes, you can. Just go through. If you got some type of evaluation reports, I mean, I don't know how they do it at whatever company you were working at, or if you wrote all this stuff down, or even if you didn't, just go through your brain and start trying to recall every single thing you did, every system that you actually touched and manipulated to do whatever, whether you were dealing with ServiceNow, you were dealing with Remedy, you were dealing with Jira, whatever it is that you were doing, all the various operating systems you installed, how many of them did you install over the course of your employment at that company. Get all that information out your brain if you don't have it written down somewhere, and write it down or put it on a Google Notes document somewhere, and then go through and try to extract bullet points out of it so that you can use that to put on a resume to make your resume look even more fly, because I promise you, you can use that experience to level up in IT. All right. So that's the first question I wanted to address. Shout out to the homie, Professor Black Ops, another cybersecurity IT expert. If you guys want to go subscribe to his channel, he does a lot of IT related news, and I think he's coming out with his own course of sorts, if I'm not mistaken. So go support this brother right here. All right, let's get back to my man's over here. Uh-oh, where'd I go? Here I go. All right, my man says cloud engineer or data engineer. Which one is a my phone's about to die. Which one is a long-lasting career to whereas AI will not take effect? So this isn't one of those questions that you can just give a definitive answer. Look, you're going to have cloud engineers because everything is on the cloud. The cloud isn't going away. It is what it is. It's just a part of our daily lives, right? Every time you guys go watch a YouTube video, they're sitting on a cloud somewhere. Every time you go watch Netflix, it's on the cloud somewhere. So the cloud is a part of our daily life. Also, when it comes to data engineers, that's another kind of a umbrella term right there, because here's the thing about IT. You got these beautiful terms like cybersecurity. These are all umbrella terms. They can mean various different things, right? Even data engineer. I would need to actually read the job description to see exactly what that means, because data engineer can mean one thing over here, and then it can mean something else at another company or another position over here. But I guess in the grand scheme of things, as it relates to this question, we're dealing with data, obviously, right? The creation of data, the storage of data, the protection of data, how to extract the data, how to interact with it, all that wonderful stuff data developers deal with and all that stuff. Listen, all of that stuff is important. All that stuff, because everything we deal with is data. And all that data is sitting on the cloud somewhere. Now, it's just a matter of which lane in tech, Google cloud engineer, data engineer, that you want to go down. Which one gives you the warm and fuzzies? Which one do you think you can see yourself doing and enjoying and possibly excelling in? That's what only you can answer. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know people that are all about cybersecurity. I know people that are all about cloud development. I know people that hate all that crap and all they like is database development, this, that, and the third. And it's for a myriad of reasons, right? Whether it's financial incentives, whether it's I don't know. They just want to stack up a bunch of certifications to show off to the world that they're the man or the woman because they got about 20 certifications. I don't know what it is, but you have to figure that out on your own. Which path in life is most appropriate for Yogi X over here? And then as the AI is concerned, so every day we turn on the news, there's a new story about artificial intelligence. Oh, the robots, they're coming to take our jobs. They're coming to do this. They're coming to do that. Everybody's, fear mongering all over the place. AI is going to be a part of your life somehow, some way. That doesn't mean that you got to get all paranoid and think, oh, Lord, they're going to take my job and I ain't going to have nothing to do. You have to look at artificial intelligence as a tool to help you get things done. So if you see AI kind of creeping into your workspace over here, that doesn't mean that it's just going to automatically replace you. You know what I'm saying? You have to figure out, well, how can I use this to enhance whatever it is that I'm doing with my job, make it more efficient, make it more, whatever the case may be. That's what you have to figure out how to. I wouldn't get too concerned. Like I say, when you're talking to the general masses, people who aren't really tech savvy beyond watching YouTube, and there's no shade to anybody. But like I say, when they throw out when they always talk about AI, when you watch the news, they're always talking about people getting replaced with jobs. Oh, there's all the robots are coming to McDonald's. The McDonald robots are going to be flipping hamburgers and all that stuff. That may or may not be true. I don't know everybody, but you can't get too concerned with that. You just need to figure out, how can I use this to enhance my job? How can I use this as a tool to make me better, to make me stand out, to make me more efficient, so that hopefully the bosses notice and they can put more money in my pocket at the end of the day. That's what you need to figure out, how to incorporate that into your life. Hopefully that answers that question. If not, then we'll do another live stream talking about it another day. All right. Call your daughter. Call what? Look, what's up with y'all names, man? Call you daughter, sir. He says, if I skip the trifecta and go straight to CCNA, AWS cloud, and have a degree that's unrelated, no tech experience, and I'm in my 30s, can I find an IT job in this economy? Sure. Listen, go on Indeed, man. Go on Indeed. Indeed, just type in your city, especially if you live next to a major city. There's like 1,000 gazillion IT jobs out there. It's just a matter of, do you qualify for the job based off of what they say you need to have to apply for the job. But yeah, you can do that. Now, do I recommend that? Listen, when I talk to people about tech, right, everybody wants to jump and just skip all the steps, right? I want to go straight to cloud. I want to make $100,000. All right. I actually did a consultation with a dude about a year ago. Dude went through somebody else's IT training course where he got AWS certified. He passed the certification, which isn't really hard. It was the AWS practitioner cert. Anyway, so dude called me to do a consultation when I was promoting my course earlier this year. Earlier this year. And so I was asking old buddy, I was like, why you want this consultation with me? You're already AWS certified. Go get you a job, doing cloud stuff. Well, dude told me he didn't know what the heck he was doing. He had learned just enough information to pass the test, but he didn't really have a true understanding of IT, right? And all that it entailed, which leads into that AWS certification. So I always tell people, it's not going to hurt you to learn the basics about IT. A+, Net+, Security+. And then, truth be told, Network Plus and CCNA, they're pretty much almost the same test. And, put it like this. Network Plus teaches you, this is a router, this is a switch, and this is what they do. CCNA teaches you, this is a Cisco router, this is a Cisco switch, and this is how you program our stuff up. But everything else is pretty much the same, right? But it's not going to harm you to learn about the piece of technology that created this entire industry. All right. What is A+? A+ teaches you, somebody's called me. Hold on. Never mind. A+ teaches you what is a computer, right? Hardware, software, how do they come together to make your computer a computer, your phone a phone, your laptop a laptop, so on and so forth. Network Plus teaches you, well, how do these things actually talk and communicate, which is currently allowing you and I to engage in this live stream with each other. And the Security Plus just teaches you basic security fundamental stuff of how do you protect this information and some other crap, right? And it's actually your very first true cybersecurity certification. So I'm saying that to say, it's not bad. I mean, it's not going to hurt you to actually go get these entry-level foundational certifications, because all that information will be directly transferable to those higher level certs like CCNA, AWS, et cetera, right? And it might make you a more well-rounded IT professional because you do have this base layer understanding. Because what it is, let's just say you've never had any IT experience, you go sit down and take the CCNA test. I'm not going to say there's a 100% chance you're going to fail, but the chances of you failing are probably going to go up drastically more than somebody who actually learned the foundational stuff prior to them sitting down and take the test. Because like I just told you, there was a guy that passed the AWS certification, right? But even though he passed it, he still didn't have he didn't have a true understanding of the IT industry, which is why he was coming to me. And when I was promoting teaching my A+ and Network Plus and Security Plus class earlier this year. So you can do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. If you think you want to bypass that stuff, go get CCNA, AWS, and all this other stuff. Go ahead, do what you do. But it's just, I just think people just need to learn the foundation. That's just my personal philosophy on this. Because like I say, I used to teach this stuff when I was in the military for like 4.5 years. And then I got my own side business teaching this crap. I just think it's in your best interest to learn the foundational stuff and build yourself up. Instead of just, coming out and like, hey, I'm going to go out there and learn trigonometry and calculus, but you never learn how to count, do basic arithmetic. You know what I'm saying? So it's that's how I see this. Hopefully that answers the question. All right, let me get to another one of these concerns somebody brought up to me, and then I'll get back to y'all. Where'd y'all go? Oh, there y'all go. Give me a second. Let's see. How about sure? All right, here we go. All right, so this person left this comment. Nina Jackson. I'm assuming this is a young lady. Nina says, isn't it all possible that I'm just not smart enough to retain so much information? She says, I'm currently studying for the CompTIA A+ certification. I have no experience in IT, and I want to throw myself into something where I can learn something that I was already somewhat interested in and set myself up to make more money. She says, I printed out all the notes I could find in the exam objectives. And I started watching some courses on YouTube. She says, I'm starting to doubt myself. Is studying enough if you don't have the mental capacity? All right, so here's the thing, Nina. I firmly believe everybody is smart enough to learn IT. I truly believe that. And it's not because I want y'all to sub to my channel. And it's not because I want y'all to buy my courses. Although I will take it if you do that, right? But I firmly believe everybody is capable of learning IT. Here's the problem. Are you capable and disciplined enough to actually put yourself through a training, educational program of sorts, whether it's self-study, whether you're dealing with some coaching and mentoring, to where you can block off 30, 60, 90, however many days it takes for you to sit down and study and learn this stuff? Can you do that? Because that's the issue that I tend to see when it comes to people trying to learn IT. None of this stuff is rocket science. We're not learning quantum physics. We're not learning George Jetson, Star Trek, next generation technology. We're just learning, how does this doggone phone work? How does this computer work? Right? Now, the problem is when you go look at the CompTIA course objectives, and it's a 2-part test, hardware, software. Each course objective is roughly 19 pages long, right? It's about 19 pages long for the A+ hardware, another 19 pages for the A+ software, Network Plus, Security Plus. They're pretty much the same thing. Then in each of those objectives, there's like all types of information on there, right? You can go get all the flashcards, all the study notes. You can go out there on Amazon and buy you a 500 to 1,000 page book on how to learn this stuff. But if you don't come up with some type of study plan that says, hey, every day I'm finna study 30 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour a day. I got my notebooks, I got my pens, I got my highlighters, and we getting busy. Don't nobody come up in this room bothering me. I'm in here studying. If you can't do that and be disciplined about it, You're never going to get certified, or it's going to take you a hell of a long time to get certified than it should. That's just the truth. This has nothing to do with whether or not you have the mental capacity. It has to do with, do you have the discipline to sit here and actually try to learn this information? Whether you're learning it on your own or you're learning it from somebody like me. Now, obviously, I'm going to highly encourage you to seek out the professional advice of somebody like me who's been working in tech for over 20 years. Whether you use me or you go through somebody else, that's totally up to you. But to me, that's the easiest. I'm not going to say easiest. That's probably the most efficient way to go through this. But even if you choose to study on your own, do you have the discipline to lock yourself into a schedule to where you're going to go out there and do it? You know, it's kind of like going to the gym. I just started working back out again. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the muscles are coming through. But I just started working back out again, right? I'm probably like 2 weeks into this thing. I'm sore as all outdoors right now, right? Now, the reason why I want to work out and get back into shape is because I'm going on a cruise next year, or at least I'm supposed to be, right? I'm trying to go on a cruise. I'm trying to have my shirt off, and I'm trying to be glistening out in these streets, right? Abs just all over the place, right? Just looking like how I used to look when I was 20 something years old. If I don't get up in the morning and go work out and make an honest effort to try to monitor what I eat and how much I eat, I'm not going to be looking like how I used to look when I was 25 years old. You know, this dad bod is going to be stuck on me. You understand what I'm saying? And that involves discipline, right? If I want to look like the man out in these streets, you have to be disciplined. And that same thought process applies to studying for these certifications. You want to get through all this information, you have to put together a systematic plan, meaning Monday through Friday, or whatever your schedule is that allows for you. These are my study hours. This is when I'm going to get it done. And another way to help speed the process up and almost guarantee that you're going to study for this, I always tell people, before you go take a test, go buy your voucher and schedule your exam. Before you even start studying, go get your A+ voucher and go buy your voucher. You can buy your vouchers through me. I sell discounted vouchers. You go buy your A+ voucher and schedule your exam. So that way you are now forced to study for this stuff because you've already locked in a date and time that you're supposed to go take this test. And if you don't show up to take the test, you're going to fail and lose your money. Or if you do show up and you didn't put in the proper study time, you're going to fail and lose your money. So that will be step one. Go get your voucher, schedule your exam, lock it in, and then from there, go about trying to put together some type of study system. Now, we can come up with all types of theories on what's the best way to study. Maybe I could just have my headphones on and listen to the stuff and get it through osmosis. I can go get me one of them 500-page books and read that book till I fall asleep on page one. Whatever works best for you. What works best for me, I have to get notebooks, composite notebooks or whatever, spiral notebooks, same ones my kids get. I got to break out the pens. I got to break out the highlighters, and I have to go through and write this stuff down because, at least as far as I'm concerned, when I write this stuff down, I've convinced myself that I'm mentally recording this stuff in my brain at least once. And then I got to go through and do my highlights, right? And then how do I do highlights? Well, this is the same way that I read books. I'm a slow reader, not in terms of comprehension, but in terms of how long it takes me to read a book. So let's just say a book has 10 chapters. I'll go through, read chapter 1. I'll do my highlights of stuff that I think is important. Before I get to chapter 2, I'll go back and reread all the highlights from chapter 1, then start chapter 2. So now I'm starting to read chapter 2. I'm highlighting like a mug. Before I go to chapter 3, I reread the highlights from chapter 1 and chapter 2. Then I go do chapter 3. And I do this all the way through the book. So let's just say a book got like 10 chapters. By the time I'm done with that book, I probably would have read it like 10 times. Right? So that's worked for me over the years. I used to do this when I was in college, and I was doing this when I was studying for certifications. I don't know of any other way to study. Right? So maybe you can get that in your life, but I do know if you don't put yourself on some type of schedule to where you're going to block off 30, 45 minutes to an hour, whatever you can afford to get in, you're going to have problems, right? You're going to have problems. It has nothing to do with your mental capacity and all that stuff. All of y'all have the mental capacity to pass these tests. It's just a matter of, do you have the discipline to sit down and study and learn this information so you can go out there and successfully pass these tests, hopefully on a first time go. That's everybody's problem out there. And it was mine too. The very first time I took the A+ certification, the hardware test many years ago, the very first time I took it, I failed the test. And I was already working in IT because I was in the Army. And the reason why I failed is because I didn't study. And I had to pay for this out of my own pocket. So I had to go back. I studied for a week and I went back and passed it the second time, right? And then I passed the A+ software on the first time go. So in reality, it took me like $600 to get certified for the A+ cert or something like that. So don't be me. Study. All right. Let's see what y'all in here yapping about. Let's see. I just had my first interview, waiting for the call back. Shout out to Dreddy Bean. So that's another thing, right? Let's talk about job interviews real quick. So what do you guys think is the most important aspect about getting a job? Is it learning the information to get certified, developing the experience, or successfully selling yourself at the job interview? Like, what do y'all think is the most important? Well, I'm pretty sure y'all already know what the answer is, right? So here's the thing. I talk to a lot of people that want to get into tech. And all of them, they all want to get certified, which is a good thing. They all want to get certified, go get their first job so they can start making the big bucks. But what a lot of people don't realize is when you go to these job interviews, you have to be a likable person. You have to go in there and convince these people that they actually want to hire you because they like you, not necessarily just because you meet all of the requirements, but do they actually like you as a person? And I say this for a reason because I come across so many people that have the mental capacity to pass these certs, but they're like highly introverted people, right? They don't really have like I'm talking about younger people, of course. They don't have like these phenomenal social skills, right? They're just introverted. They don't like they don't like making eye contact with people. When they shake your hand, they give you the limp wrist action. You know what I'm saying? It's just on some weird stuff, man. And so when I tell people, I'm like, listen, you have to go into these job interviews not only being technically competent, because they're probably going to ask you some tech questions based on the position that you're getting hired to do, but you have to be likable. They have to like you. So if you come into the job interview and you didn't brush your teeth that day, or you didn't take a shower and put deodorant on, you're probably going to be offensive to people. And I know some of y'all are thinking, like, do people actually do this? Yes, they do. People actually do this. Yes, they do. You're going in there to sell yourself, because these people, they're going to eventually have to be working around you. So if people don't like you, they don't like your personality, but you know how to do that job frontwards and backwards, you may or may not get the job because they just don't like you. And it's nothing personal, but it kind of is what it is. So shout out to Dreddy Bean. He says he had his first IT interview. He's waiting on his call back. Shout out to him. Also, I did a video on my channel showing you guys how to up the odds of you passing the AI. Oh, yeah. So talking about artificial intelligence again. So you guys know when you submit these resumes onto sites like Indeed or whatever the case may be, there's like a 99% chance it's being scanned by some software to see if you have enough keywords in there. And if you don't have enough keywords on your resume, they're probably going to reject your resume. You won't even get to sit down and talk to a person. I did a video on my channel. It's called something about just type Tech G and resume or something like that. It'll pop up, but it's a little hack, quote unquote hack, to teach you how to up the odds of your resume, making it past the artificial intelligence or whatever scanner that they're using. Now, is it a guaranteed way to get it past it? No, but I would use the technique anyway. That's all I'm gonna say. So go find that video, check it out, and hopefully you can get some success out of that to at least go sit down and have a face-to-face with the person that's interviewing you. But when you do get to that face-to-face, man, make sure you brush your teeth, wash your ass, and put deodorant on. I mean, I'm being so damn serious about that. Like, you would think that that's common sense, but you're gonna be so surprised how many people, young and old, introverted, but like I say, especially with a lot of young people that are coming like straight out of high school and college, how many of them just don't like, their social skills aren't just nowhere near as outgoing as people of my generation. And like I said, I have a 17-year-old son. I kind of see this with him, although I do make him wash his ass and brush his teeth. But when it comes to the social department, my son, he's 17. How I was at 17 years old versus how he is, it's like two different people. We look almost like twins, right? Compared, how I used to look when I was 17. But I was extremely outgoing. You couldn't tell me crap, man. I was out there just in everybody's face, shaking hands, kissing babies, all that crap, right? My oldest son, he ain't like that, man. He's all into his video games, all introverted. Now he'll come out of his shell because I have him taking martial arts classes. So he goes martial arts training 4 nights a week. He takes jujitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu twice a week, and then he does some other Korean martial arts. I can't pronounce the name of it. When he's in there, because I was watching him the other night, oh man, he's like a whole nother person. He came out the shell. He in there whooping everybody ass. I'm like, go son, yeah, do the damn thing. Like, that's my boy right there, right? But when he comes back in, when he takes his uniform off and goes back into his normal mode, he just goes back into his little shell, man. But I noticed that's the thing with a lot of young people, man. Let's see. Shout out to my man Top Tier Sales from Germany. Appreciate you checking in. What kind of references do you need except from CompTIA certs for cybersecurity job? What do you mean references? Like certifications, education, job experience? I'm not sure what you mean. So here's the thing. So let's go over the most important aspects of getting a job. The most important aspect of getting a job is, who do you know? Who do you know? So if you know somebody that works at the company, that's your best bet for getting a job. Who do you know trumps everything in life? Who do you know, and do they know you? That's the most important thing. Now, if you don't know anybody at the company, then you need to come up there with some doggone certifications, or some experience. If you don't have the experience, you need to have some doggone certifications, and then education, so all this other crap. So I'm not exactly sure what you mean by references. Like, are people writing you letters of recommendation? Your references should be your resume. That should be your biggest reference. What'd you do on your resume in terms of past jobs, employment history? You don't have any crazy gaps. You're not hopping around from job to job every 6 months, unless you're on some type of contract work or whatever the case may be. What type of relevant certifications and or education that you have that aligns with the job that you're trying to get. So you need to tailor your resume to basically don't put out a one size fits all type of resume, is what I'm trying to say. That should be your major reference right there. Now, if you know some people that work at the company, you got the inroads into it like that, then I would do that. I mean, because I had to use that once when I was trying to go for a job. Matter of fact, my last job, or the one that I currently work at, I had to get a letter of recommendation from people who knew me, right? Because of the position I'm working. But here's the thing. I know a lot of people in the military, lower ranking, high ranking. And one of my fraternity brothers that I went to college with, he just happened to be a colonel in the U.S. Army working at the Pentagon at the time. So I got a letter of recommendation from him. And obviously that carried a lot of weight in me getting hired at the job that I do now. Because I was like, oh, wow, you know a colonel that works at the Pentagon? I'm like, yeah. Dude was my best man in my wedding when I got married back in the day. So yeah, I've known this cat since we were 18, 19 years old. Hell yeah, he's gonna give me a recommendation. So that helped me out. So, but if you ain't got that, if you don't have connections like that and references like that, then you need to get that resume together and get them certifications on and popping. All right, let me go to another one of these questions on my screen over here. I got 2 more that I want to address. I think this one is similar to the other one. Let's see, how do I get it back on the board? All right. CA says, I think part of it has to do. So I did a video talking about why people fail IT certs. And I think this was a short that I put together. And basically I just said because people don't study, which is the number one reason. That's why people fail IT certs, because they don't study. This person says, I think part of it has to do with not knowing what to study, even if you barely get by or do okay and have gone through several courses, tests, and flashcards. It's hard to figure out what works for you and how to study when there's so much material. So I do somewhat agree with that. So when you guys go sit down and take a certification test, and let's just say you go take your A plus or your IT fund, whatever, your A plus cert hardware, and you fail the test. Well, what happens is Pearson VUE, they're going to give you a printout. Assuming you took it at a testing center, but even if you took it at home, there's going to be a printout for you to download off their website. And the printout obviously going to tell you, information, your CompTIA ID number, your grade. But at the bottom of it, it's going to tell you what sections you missed questions out of. Now, here's the thing that I don't like about CompTIA. They don't tell you specifically what questions you actually missed on the test. They'll just say, you missed a question out of this section talking about mobile devices or ports and protocols, but you don't know specifically which one that you had to type, which one that you missed. And then you factor that in with the CompTIA test objectives being like 19 pages long of information. So getting over here to my man CA, he's like, I don't know exactly what to study. Well, that's kind of true. You don't know exactly what to study. And I know a lot of people always ask me, they'll be like, well, what kind of questions are going to be on the test? Listen, I don't work for CompTIA. I have no clue what they're going to be put on the test. Because here's the thing. You and I can go we can go to the same testing center, the same day, the same time, take the same test, sit directly next to each other, and we can get two totally different versions of the same test. You might have 90 questions. I might have 88 questions. You might have no PBQs, performance-based questions. I might have 3 or 4 of them. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So in order for this person to be successful in this endeavor, he says he went through several courses, flashcards. He's just going to have to hunker down, as they say, break out the notebooks and study everything. Now, are you going to be able to memorize everything? Hell to the no, right? And it's a foolish endeavor if you think you're going to go out there and memorize all this stuff. I always tell people you need to be learning for comprehension purposes versus you learning just so you can memorize information. So when you're out there learning the A plus, and let's just say you're going through the TCP ports and protocols, and we get the port 443, which is HTTPS. Do you even understand what HTTPS means? Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. Do you understand what IMAP means? POP3 means? Like, do you actually truly understand these concepts? Or are you just simply trying to memorize the port and the port number because you put it on a flashcard? I personally believe that in order for you to effectively learn, especially when it comes to this IT stuff, you need to be learning because you are truly trying to comprehend and understand, why is this thing doing what it's doing? Why is it doing this? Why is it doing that? And this is why it's important for you guys to actually seek the counsel of somebody who's teaching a course, right? Like me, but seek the counsel, right? That's why myself and others who teach these courses, we always highly push these courses because, listen, you can go join my YouTube membership, right? $10 a month, you can look at A plus, the whole A plus course, the most recent one up there, or they got free versions on YouTube out there from other people. You can go watch slideshows all day long to your heart's content. But you know what the problem is with that? Oftentimes you don't have access to the person who put those slideshows together to ask them questions, to elaborate on a concept, so it can make so that he or she can make it make sense to you. That's why it's important for you guys to consider signing up for a course, especially if you have access to the instructor. Because right now I'm doing an A plus boot camp, right? Y'all saw me advertising and promoting it about a month or so ago. I got some students in there now. They're going through. One of the biggest I personally think is the biggest selling attribute about that is that they get exclusive access to me to pick my brain and ask me questions. And being that they're paying me, I have to answer these questions. And I'm not doing it because I have to, but I do it I do it because I enjoy it. But they ask questions. If they don't understand something about, I don't know, like DNS, domain name system, they don't understand what that is, then it's my job to explain it and explain it in non-technical terms to the best of my ability so that I can make it make sense to them, so that hopefully they can understand why this thing is, what DNS is and what it does. And then I personally think that'll help with memorization later on when it's time to go into test prep mode, so that they can get ready to go take that test and hopefully pass it on the first time go. So yes, it's a lot of information, but you need to be learning this stuff so that you can, you need to be going through this stuff so that you can hopefully learn it and truly understand it, as opposed to just trying to memorize it. I don't know if I answered this dude's question, but that's the best answer I got. All right, let's go through some more y'all stuff over here. Where we at? Where did I leave off? Yeah, don't be scared of AI, man. I put my resume through Chat GPT. Look, use it as a tool. Chat GPT might come out with a way to reword things and make it sound better. Use it as a tool, man. Or you're in your 30s and you switch to IT. Yeah, that's cool, man. Look, there's jobs out there for you. As long as you still have a pulse and you're mentally and physically of sound mind and body, you can get an IT job. I got a student of mine that's 60. How old is this dude? He's like 65 years old, learning IT for the first time, just passed his A+ hardware test. So his background prior to IT, he was a correctional officer. Matter of fact, how did that get on my screen? Did y'all see that? So I put the thumbs up and there was like a little thing that just popped up on my screen. Did y'all see that? Is that a new feature up in here, or am I tripping? But anyways, so it's possible, man. I'm a truck driver. I make $75,000 a year. I want to get into IT, but I don't want to start at help desk. That's why I asked the question, cloud engineer. Okay. Yeah. I feel you. So here's the trick question. I mean, not the trick question. Here's the tricky thing about this. So a lot of these high level certs are these quote unquote high level positions or whatever. A lot of these positions are oftentimes for people who have already been working in tech and they're kind of transitioning into another role. So like take AWS certification. That thing is more so geared towards somebody who's already been working in tech. They have a base layer understanding of how this stuff works. And now they want to start going down the cloud path, right? That's not to say that a person fresh off the block can't get the job and do it, but oftentimes it's a much smoother transition for somebody who's already been working in tech to shift over to that versus somebody doing a total career shift from one industry to another. You understand what I'm saying? And so also, I don't want to downplay help desk, because a lot of people that, they'll look at help desk like, oh, it's the bottom of the barrel. Listen, you can work at the help desk and be out of there within 6 months. Get enough experience on your resume built up and throw your resume back out there. That's enough time for you to pack some things onto your resume and throw it back out there. As a matter of fact, I got another student, right? He works, he was 24 years old, 23, something like that. He started learning IT 2 years ago. Didn't know a damn. Matter of fact, I'm about to reach out to him to see if I can do an interview on this channel, but he didn't know a damn thing about IT 2 years ago, like absolutely nothing. Within 2.5 years, he's done got his A+, Net Plus, Security Plus. I think he got his AWS or his Azure or something else. Anyways, he started off working at the help desk for some company. Right now, he moved out of Florida, and I think he's in Arizona somewhere, and he makes like $85,000 a year, like 2 years later. I can't remember exactly what his job position is, but he went from, whatever the hell they was paying him at the help desk to where he's making like $85,000 a year. And this is just within 2.5 years. and his salary is only going to go up from there. Like the way he's moving and what he wants to do and how he wants to learn, I wouldn't be shocked by this time next year if he's cracking 100 plus, and that's just within within 3.5 years of him working in IT. So I wouldn't totally discount that. I get it why people don't want to start there, but I also think that, like I say, that's the easiest point to transition into it, because they'll hire anybody at the help desk. Help desk hires everybody. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to have a cert to go apply for the help desk. They'll let everybody in. That's the easiest way to get in there. The thing is, once you're in there, look at what you're going to be doing, document it so you can build the experience. That's the reason why you're there, to get the experience so that you can hopefully apply for and qualify higher level jobs that offer more money. That's assuming all you had was the help desk to go through. But yes, you can bypass it. But when I talk about this, I just talk about it from the help desk perspective, because that's just the baseline that I think everybody can pretty much understand and comprehend. Wait, I was planning to study the trifecta and steal it, but not sit down for those tests. Oh, okay, so you want to study the stuff and not? I mean, you can do that too. I'm not telling you not to, but I'm like, if you're going to study for it, you might as well go get the certification. That's just my personal philosophy. Foundational skills. In cloud, you spin up VMs, which is a Unix box. You need basic Unix skills. Yeah. Listen, like I say, these sexy certifications, AWS, Azure, CCNA, and all this stuff. Look, all that stuff sexy and glamorous to novice people, but listen, like I said, I just personally think it's not going to harm you to learn the foundational stuff. And then once you get to the more advanced stuff, it'll probably be an easier transition for you to learn it and comprehend it. That's just my personal opinion. Do what you want to do with your life, but I'm telling you, based off of the years I've been working in tech and how long I've been teaching this, that I think that's the best path for most people. Can you please tell me how to study for A plus, Net plus in 3 months? I really want to pass them in 3 months. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Sorry. Unless you got a photographic memory, I don't know of anybody that can successfully study for both of them certifications in 3 months. Now, what you can do, you can probably take 3 months per certification and study it and pass it like that. So you take 2 to 3 months to learn A plus hardware, 2 to 3 months to learn A plus software, 2 to 3 months to learn Network plus. You can do that. But if you think you're going to learn A plus and Network plus at the same damn time in 3 months without a photographic memory or on some Einstein level of comprehension, it's probably not going to happen for you. I'm just keeping it a buck with you. It's probably not going to happen. All right, I think I got one more of these things I want to go through real quick. And then I might even drop the link for whoever wants to come up here. Let me find. Did I read this one already? Yeah, I did. All right, here we go. So let me go through this last question real quick. My man says, trapped in euphoria says, I've always heard this thing about LinkedIn having the quote unquote better jobs. What's your take on that? So I don't know if LinkedIn has the quote unquote better jobs. What I will say is a lot of IT recruiters hang out on LinkedIn because they stay in my inbox asking me, do I want to apply for a job all the time? And oftentimes, a lot of these jobs are probably some of the same jobs that you will find on Indeed or Monster or any other job posting site. Because what it is, when these companies advertise a job, they don't necessarily just go to one company unless they're dealing with a company like Robert Half. So in case you guys don't know what Robert Half is a company. It's a recruitment company, at least for IT. I don't know if they do recruiting for other divisions, but I know at least in IT, they have a bunch of IT recruiters in there. Then the IT recruiters, they might advertise the job on LinkedIn or Indeed, Monster, and then they might even start reaching out to you by way of LinkedIn. So it's not a matter of do they have better jobs. It's just there are a bunch of recruiters that like to make connections with people. Then all of a sudden they follow you, they request a connection to be your friend, and next, they slide up in your inbox talking about, hey, trapped in euphoria. Based on your resume you have posted on LinkedIn, we think this will be a good fit for you to apply for this job right here. And if you want to apply for it, apply for it. But here's the thing about LinkedIn. There are a bunch of scammers on LinkedIn as well, right? So I know LinkedIn is supposed to be the professional website where all the professionals hang out at. And damn, I'm still on my damn, hold on. All right, I just had to switch it. I thought I was on my landline. But anyways, there's a bunch of scammers in LinkedIn as well. So like I say, LinkedIn is supposed to be the professional site. Everybody's suited and booted. You put your best face on. You don't have none of your drunk college pictures on there. You're all professional, talking about how you out here walking old ladies across the street and feeding the home, doing all the stuff that you think makes you look good. Because, the thing about LinkedIn is I be seeing some of my friends I've known on LinkedIn for years, right? And they be posting these pictures and these little stories on LinkedIn. They're the most super professional people you'd be like, I'd be looking at like, damn, is that really that person? And then I'd be thinking about, this is not like, I just be thinking about what they post on other social media sites. It'd be like night and day. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's a whole nother story. But yeah, you can get job offers and find people. I mean, I've had people, like I said, I have people reach out to me all the time, but there are some scammers on there. So I would just move with caution. So it's not necessarily about, are there better jobs? It's just about, building connections. Now, the thing about LinkedIn is, you got some people that'll create these LinkedIn accounts and they'll go around trying to form connections with people. For one, like I say, to try to advertise or promote some crap to them, or, they just want to stand out. Me, I don't have like a bunch of followers on LinkedIn because one, I'm hardly ever on that website, but anything that I do post on there, I just try to treat it as organic, right? If people want to follow me, they want to follow me. If you guys want to know where I'm on LinkedIn, you go to my website or you go to the about section of this YouTube channel. My LinkedIn account's right there. And it has my real name attached to it. In case some of y'all be like, what's your name? Well, there it is right there. But, some people use it as clout chasing, I guess you can say, where they want to try to flex on you because they got like all this crap. I got 100,000 followers. I got this, I got that. And I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I guess I don't want to go too deep off into that, but use LinkedIn like any other tool. You know what I'm saying? Just if people offer you a job or they slide into your DMs talking about there's a job opportunity, be cautious of clicking the links. You know what I'm saying? Ask them what the company name is and go off, open up another browser, go research the company, or go look for that job on Indeed, because more than likely they'll have, if it's a legit company, they'll have the job posted on LinkedIn or Monster or some other job posting site. Just be cautious of what goes on in the DMs on LinkedIn. You know what I'm saying? With people trying to solicit you to, go for a job. It isn't just necessarily about better jobs. It's just about, it's the same damn jobs. But now that's not to say that you can't derive other opportunities from there, because let's just say you do got a booming LinkedIn profile where everybody's following you, resharing your stuff. That can increase your profile to where other people will take notice of it and be like, man, that's the man or that's the woman out there. They out here kicking ass and taking names, just doing the damn thing. We want to get this because I do have a friend that's like that. One of my army buddies, back in our younger years in the military, we used to get towed up from the flow up, just making it rain, just doing all types of devious stuff. Fast forward to the present day, it is like night and day with this person. He out here giving speeches every other day. He getting requested to do this, requested to do that, and it's all legit. But his LinkedIn is booming. You know what I'm saying? So he gets a lot of opportunities because of, all the things that he's involved in with his professional life and all the exposure he gets on LinkedIn. So that's my speech on LinkedIn. All right, let me get back to these, see what y'all here yapping about, because I got a little bit of time left. So hold on. I hate systematic regular study plans. I learn when I have time and I learn as much as I want to. I hear you. If that works for you and you've been able to get success out of it, then keep doing what you're doing. But I'm just telling you, most people, they got to put together some type of systematic plan to get it done. G is right. I started a cloud admin making 65. Now I'm a cloud engineer making 6 figures. Shout out to Cloud with TJ. Shout out to my man AM1. So this is my man that I was telling y'all about earlier, who's over here telling me I shouldn't be wearing my t-shirts. I need to step my YouTube game up. Listen, AM1, we gonna do the damn thing. And he sent me a bunch of links that I will be using to get my lights and my cameras. And I have been working out, AM1, and I have put a budget together to go get me some more shirts that aren't t-shirts with Batman logos on them, right? Because AM1 is like, you need to look professional like the IT guy. And look, I get that. But do y'all realize when I go to work in Jordans and sweatpants and t-shirts? Like that's just normal attire for me when I go to work. At my last job, I used to go to work in flip-flops and socks. And these are all tech jobs, right? So I get the whole image and professional looking thing on here, but I guess I'm kind of more of a realist. I'm like, dude, I literally get paid whatever the hell it is I get paid, and I go to work dressed like this if I want to. And nobody's going to say nothing because I'm good at what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the culture. But I guess for YouTube, I'll step it up, man. I'm gonna give you some dress shirts and some muscles, man. And we're gonna get it popping out in these streets. I'm gonna drop the link. If anybody want to come up, give me a second. Where's my link at? I got a little bit of time to kill here. So let me drop this link. Somebody want to come up and yap. We can get it popping. All right, so I put the link up there. If anybody wants to come through, chop it up. We can chop it up for a few minutes. The entry-level job market is challenging. No, it's not. I don't think it is. So, well, let me take that back. It can be, because here's the thing. So you have entry-level jobs out there. They'll put a job out there, entry-level IT job, paying 45, 50,000. You're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing that. You might have 500 people apply for that job. So yes, that can be challenging if you got everybody and their mama applying for that job. Well, how do you stand out? Well, it's kind of hard to stand out in that arena. Basically, hold up. Matter of fact, let me get my man Professor. Hold up. Put my headphones in. Hold on. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can everybody else hear him? Because y'all know I be having crazy audience. What's going on, PBO?
Nah, man, watching you dropping all them gems out there, you giving them, man. You know, I might get my membership up like you. So facts, man, facts, facts, man. Now, just jumping on a few things you said. Entry level, I don't think it's challenging unless you're doing remote. So I'm old. I'm not trying to go in the office anymore. So when you look on Indeed, remote jobs be like 300 people apply for them. So if you're trying to go remote, and the big companies trying to make you come back, because Amazon paying people with $350, they want to touch you. So that's all I'm saying. They pay you $350, they want to touch you.
Yeah. I think the most challenging part is just the number of people applying for that job. So obviously, if you're entry level, that denotes that you don't have any experience. So how do you stand out versus everybody else with experience? Now, some people, they'll tell you to start fabricating some stuff. Tech G doesn't believe in fabricating anything. But if you can dig into your past and find events, let's just say that your pastor at your church asked you to set up his or her computer or their audio video system or something like that. Now we can start using that as experience to put on the resume, saying, hey, I do have some tech experience. I was the unofficial IT guy at my church, my community center, from a grandma. That might help you stand out in a crowd of a bunch of newbies who don't have any experience all applying for the job. So that might be something you guys might want to consider doing. What type of side projects can you involve yourself in? Like, do you build computers on a regular basis as a hobby? Like, I got a friend of mine's, he likes to refurbish MacBooks and laptops just to do it. You know what I'm saying? That he'll turn around and sell them for whatever. You know, he works in tech now, but like I say, if he didn't work in tech, he could use that as experience to put on his resume to hopefully help him stand out for that entry level job. So those are some things that hopefully you can do to try to leverage the competition, you know, have some leverage over the competition that's applying for these jobs.
No, that's true. Just chiming in on that. Entry level, like, you know, it goes both ways because there are more entry level jobs out there. So at our level, when I apply for senior jobs, and you know, there's 300 people apply, there's only a couple senior job. Entry level company might have 10 people on help desk or 10 people at the junior level. When you go for senior, man, like I was interviewing for remote jobs, they're like, oh, you made it to the last 3, but you didn't get it. That means I'm still unemployed, even though I got past 300 people. I didn't get past the 303, right? So as you go up there senior, then 2 is as you go up to senior level, everybody has the same degrees, everybody has the same experience. So like you said, you people hire you because they like you, you're a cultural fit, right? So you got to figure out what does that mean for you, right? We ain't telling you to sell out, but we ain't telling you your favorite way. We don't expect you to go in there and tap dancing, but you got to figure out that you're a corporate fit, that they can work with you, right? So how does that work for you? And 2, especially when you go in the office, what does that mean, right? So
yep, that's all facts. It says, what is the job like on a day-to-day basis? I think he was asking somebody else. Let's see. Do you know the hardest question in programming? Nope, I'm not a programmer, so I couldn't tell you.
What is a Fibonacci sequence? I don't know. What is a Fibonacci sequence? I programmed for 10 years, so what is it? I said, what is a Fibonacci sequence? And they used to make you program that on the fly in the 80s. I'm old, though, so it probably changed a little bit.
Because an interview is just a professional conversation. Yeah, it can be, but yeah, I mean, well, obviously it is a professional conversation, but still, there could be some personal things brought up in the conversation. So what do I mean by personal? So let's just say we're having a personal conversation. I mean, a professional conversation, but I struggle to make eye contact with you. I'm talking in a low whisper. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking all shy and timid. You know what I'm saying? That stuff is personal to you. And then the person interviewing you, they might feel a certain type of way, like, well, this isn't a very confident person as it relates to this job. Because let's just say you're working help desk, you're going to have to be interacting with customers, whether they're paying customers or customers from another department. You know, they may or may not have the patience to deal with a really shy and timid person where they can just throw you in the back of the room somewhere and let you do your thing. You see what I'm saying? So it is professional, but they can make personal judgments about you to a certain degree based off of your overall demeanor, how you look, your appearance, and things of that nature. Does that make sense?
Yeah, to me, like you said, that's 100%. Because when people ask you, they're asking about your personal, like we talked about. Then is your corporate fit, and 2, depending on what job are you trying to be. Now, if you're a hot shot programmer, we expect you to do some Java code or some C#, and we can put you in the back of the room. That's fine. But most of the time, at the senior level, you got to interact with the C-suite. You got to interact with senior people. Like you said, you got to have a level of confidence, especially in cybersecurity. Because you trying to see if we got hacked and we agree to lose $3 billion. You can't go in there and shy. You got to show them that you can take control of the situation, you can take control of people, and you can take control of others. And a lot of times especially for senior people, the CISO is going to ask you a hard question in front of the CIO. You can't be whispering and act like you shot, because the first thing they're going to be is like, this dude don't know what he's talking about. You can be the smartest person, but if you portray that, people are going to take that in and be like, this dude don't know, because you got to command a situation, especially at a senior level.
I guess an example I can give of that. So my last job, right? So I did the interview with the guy who was my direct boss. Aced the interview like a champion, right? So then I had to go do another interview with the CEO of the company. So everybody, you know, most people are probably going to be nervous as hell. Oh, Lord, the CEO. So I went in there with the CEO of the company. He's asking me all these questions. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I was like, I think I said something like the CTO, the CIO, like, you know, like I just started because, you know, my thing is I'm not a shy person, right? And so he asked me this one specific question. I think this is why he actually hired me. Dude asked me, he said, why should I hire you? Now, everybody has these canned responses. They looked up online, I'm the best. You know what I told this dude? Because I had researched him beforehand. I told this dude, like, listen, you hire me, I'm going to make you some money and you're going to pay me some money. That's what I'm here to do. You want to make millions, I want to make a lot of money too. So you hire me, I think it's a win-win for both of us. Now, I walked out of the interview, I was like, ain't no way in hell I'm getting this job. Do you know they called me the next day like, you're hired? I was like, I bet you. Nobody has ever told them that in the damn job. But the reason why I was so confident in saying it, because one, I already had another job lined up. You know what I'm saying? And then I was just like, I don't know if I really want this job, but I might do it anyway. But at the time, even though this was a professional conversation, I felt the need to bring out my personal attributes. And a part of me, because like I said, military, there's a don't give a fuck type of mentality that's a part of me. Excuse my language. I know I don't curse on this channel, but whatever. But I just felt that it was appropriate to bring it out because I was like, what like at the point of the interview, I was just like, I'm pretty sure he's heard everything in the world about this, that, and the third, but I highly doubt he's heard somebody tell him that he's going to help him get more money. And I actually did, because like I said, when I got hired on that job, they ended up bumping my salary up $10,000 within the first 4 months of me working there. They gave me a pay increase. I was so damn good at the job. But then people were like, why'd you quit? Because man, the job was boring as hell. I was good, but man, I was just like, I can't do this. I was like, I wish y'all luck, man. I gotta go do something else.
That's the cool thing too about IT and security is once you get to a certain level, it kind of gets repetitive after a while. You're doing some policies and procedures and some system security plans and some incident response plans, but that's why you get paid, because you understand how to do it. And two is just real quick, and I know people talk about too, imposter syndrome. You got to work on your craft so you don't have fear of the role or the job you're gonna get, because you worked on your skills. Like you said, you got your certs, you did your labs, you did the things to make sure you're good in your craft so you won't have imposter syndrome.
Yeah, that is extremely true. When you are, the more confident you are, it just oozes through you. You know what I'm saying? To where it's hard to deny it, and you can literally get up and walk away because you're not coming in there where they sense the desperation on you.
Facts.
It's like, I got other options. I don't need this, but if you offer it to me, I might take it.
Facts.
Recently laid off, trying to find a job in IT. Is the job market bad right now? I haven't had any callbacks applying 30 days for a job. So like I say, I don't know what city you live in. Obviously, this is dependent upon the city that you live in and the market. And this is all because I know if I go pull up Indeed in my city, there's probably like 20 IT jobs, entry-level IT jobs ready to go right now. There'll probably be another 20 next week. But this could be a matter of, is your resume loaded up with the keywords that they need to make it past the software that's scanning it? And then also, do you have any experience? Now, I know, but I know what you're thinking. I don't have IT experience. I never worked at a help desk. Well, have you done anything IT related just in your personal leisure? Fixing grandma's computer, working at the church, doing a thing, any little IT projects that you could. Have you built the computer on your own? Have you know what I'm saying? Like something that you can learn off of YouTube. Do you have anything on your resume to help you kind of stand out from the other 100 people that are applying for that job? So that's something that you might want to consider.
Yeah, the other thing is, you talked about it, is I used to own hardware because I'm old, but now I do all my labbing in AWS. So like you said, are you spinning stuff in the AWS and getting you an Active Directory open? Are you working with OUs or you just resetting passwords? Those are some things you're going to do on a help desk. Where if you labbed it, you at least can say, I set up a lab. I know how to change help desk. I know how to set up the complexity of it. I know how to put computers in the OU. I know how to, I'm trying to think of, reformat a hard drive. I guess that's probably old school. They probably don't do that help desk. But what labs are you doing to say people that you are qualified? Even if you don't have the skills, you can say you've done a lab. Long story short, and another thing TechG does is I started a YouTube channel. I did AWS. AWS recruiter reached out to me, and I interviewed for a $340,000 job. But like TechG said, I didn't do it in real life, so I was struggling in the engineering part. I went for compliance and stuff in engineering, but my YouTube channel gets me experience, and I was labbing. So people said, "Oh, you did all this stuff in AWS." I took like each services, then I spent it over to cybersecurity. Realistically, I was going for a compliance job, but somehow in engineering. But that's it. But I got a $347,000 job interview, right? Which was I don't make that now. I ain't gonna lie. That's some real That's some out of world money, right? I think it was 165 base, 80,000 restricted stock units, and I think they were gonna give me a $50,000 bonus, and that's quite common at my level. I think it was some S5 or 6, right underneath supervisor. But the part is you need to be labbing and working. Even at 56, which I'll be next month, I'm still labbing, still studying because I got 10 more years. I'm a little older than Tech G, and I got to get on my weight lifting. I got 10 more years, so I'm trying to rat it out in the cloud and lose a little weight. That's all I got, Tech G. That's all I got, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Let's see. I've been trying to talk. I've been trying and talking to people on the same path. They're saying the same thing in the Discord chat. I'm not in a Discord at all.
Oh, I'm in everybody's Discord. Go ahead. I'm in like 7 Discord. You ain't got no Discord, Tech G?
Nah.
I'm in Keep It Techies. I work for Keep It Techie, Kev Tech. Man, I'm like in 6 Discords. Go ahead.
I be having people ask me. I'm just like, listen, I don't want to. That's just one less thing I got to worry about, man. I mean, I might look into it, but I've never had this strong desire to set up a Discord and start running one.
But you got your class though, like you said. Since I'm setting up my class, and you got that extra part. Because like you said, it's a lot of time. So I was helping people with business impact analysis, NIST 853-37. And I don't know if you know Simply Cyber. He's that PhD dude that works at the Citadel. So I'll be up in his Discord doing a little something. So it takes up a little time too.
You got any thoughts on Scrum?
Yeah, Scrum is the new agile thing. Scrum masters get paid. Of course, you got to work for a big company. It's that project management because, like Tech G most tech guys can't talk. They looking down, so they let the project interface with the customer. So that's part of the agile, Scrum, ITIL, all that stuff wraps up into that. I work for a large state agency. We had a Scrum master. So once again, that's an agency. A product backlog, that whole infrastructure, and like I said, project management part of IT, because we can't talk to the customer as a tech guy. So that's PMP. If you get that project, those guys make 6 figures. Scrum guys make 6 figures. Product owners make 6 figures. That's all that whole programming. Once again, project manager. So now that's not a bad thing. I would pair it with PMP for the project management.
Yeah. Hey bro, do you think you can still get a job with A+ and some background experience, an entry-level job? I'm trying to work remote. I got my ITF, doing Azure 900 now, and then I'm going for my A+. Yeah, you can get a job, entry-level job with an A+ cert. Like, they're all over the place, right? Now you say you're trying to work remote. That might narrow things down a little bit. You know, that depends on what's going on. I'm not gonna give you a definitive answer on that one. You're gonna have to do a little research. You got your ITF, that's cool. You said you're doing your Azure, so you're learning some cloud stuff. That's cool. And you're going for your A+. Yeah, I mean, you get all that stuff. I mean, you shouldn't have no issue getting an entry-level job. And then, like I say, you work there 6 months to a year. That's more than enough time for you to build up some experience and toss that resume back out there, man, and possibly qualify for something else.
You know, I think I would ask what you pointed out, which makes it difficult. When you go remote, man, a lot of people with a little more experience, because everybody's trying to get that remote work. You should try, which I'm not an advocate of it. I would try to go in because you cut out 95% of your competition, right? When you do remote, hell, everybody, like I said, I was applying remote jobs, so it'd be people from Florida, Indiana, Chicago. So everybody, the competition's better. If you could go somewhere like Tech G said, I would say a state. You make a little less money, but you get a lot of opportunities. And like you said, after 6 months, then I would try to jump on that remote job things. Because if you're doing remote, you're going to have to come with some experience, because people take a little less money to work remote, right? So once again, your pool of applicants that you're competing for a job. So when you say remote, you open it up to everybody. If you go into a certain state or a certain office, only the people around that office. So you're going to cut out 97% of your competition. So,
yep. Yeah, my younger brother, he works remote. Matter of fact, he's been working remote since prior to the pandemic. Matter of fact, I don't remember the last time I actually seen him drive to work, but he just he quit his other job and he started working for another company. They're based out of New York or New Jersey. Obviously, he's down here in Florida. Shit, that joker pulls in like 170, 160 or something, sitting at the crib all day. Got his brand new daughter at the house. He loving life. Video games in one hand, clicking on a couple buttons for the job in the other hand. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, that's the cool thing about remote too, because you start getting some of that New York pay. Like I said, I was Amazon trying to get some of that Silicon Valley pay, man. So shit, I'm gonna do it again. I got 10 more years, so I got to get my game up a little higher. But shit, I'm trying to get some of that FANG money, that Amazon, Google, Azure type money, man, because they be paying you restricted stock options. And so now that's the play, man. But once again, you got to work on your skills, your lab, get your certs up, because it was a lot of people trying to get those jobs.
Yeah. What are some other types of entry-level positions besides help desk, or is help desk the only way into tech? No, help desk is not the only way into tech. That is just my personal belief, the easiest way to get into tech, because they literally hire everybody. And they oftentimes have a high turnover rate too, because everybody wants, and they know this, right? Everybody wants to get in and learn what they got to learn and go get another job. There are all types of positions. It's just, listen, I can't sit here and name. Matter of fact, I did a video. You guys don't be watching my videos. Man. I got the greatest YouTube channel in the world, man.
Facts. But
I did a video. Let me find it. So where that? Oh, let me share my screen. Hold on. Oh crap. Hold on. How do I share? There we go. There we go. Yeah, so I did a video titled A+. So this is straight from CompTIA, right? The job titles that they say. Now, I wouldn't be too concerned about job titles. I would be more concerned about job descriptions, what they say. Like, all of these are technically entry-level jobs according to CompTIA, which a lot of them are. Junior system administrator, you're working with a sysadmin right there, learning sysadmin stuff. They might pay you a little bit more than the IT support specialist or the help desk technician, but there might be a lot of overlap where you'll be doing some of the things that they do. But, then again, it just depends on the company you work for and what they have you doing. But I just like to say help desk, because that is the base layer understanding that everybody understands. It doesn't really get any lower than a help desk tech. But like I say, when we start talking about, because I know some people ask me, what about entry-level cybersecurity jobs? So there's an entry-level point for cybersecurity as well. Now, based on my experience, most people aren't going to jump to an entry-level cybersecurity job. They're normally going to have to work themselves up, and then they get the entry-level cybersecurity job, and then they start going all the way up to the top. But there are just all types of stuff. It's just the easiest thing you do is go on Indeed and do the filters for entry-level IT jobs in your area or whatever city you're trying to relocate to, or whatever the case may be. Every job that pops up is not going to be a help desk job.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I just say help desk because it's just the easy way for me to explain the concept. I hope that made sense.
Yeah, I got a few to add to that, Tech. In the project management, it's called business analyst, right? So basically, you running the meetings and you jotting down what people tell you, right? So I'm cybersecurity. I tell you what the requirements is, because we're on a big project. So their job really is to manage the project. The project manager's assistant is the business analyst. So if you look that up, there's a time really you just taking down notes, keeping the schedule of the project. The other one's a little higher. That's how I started, was a junior programmer. What is a junior programmer? I'm beginning a program. I took some certs or a boot camp. And really, when the help desk has a ticket for the database or the program, they send it to the junior programmer, right? So we do research. Is the password messed up, or you can't insert it to the table? The other one is what I do is GRC. Junior person at GRC does policies and procedures and documentation. If you're good at that, that would be probably, and that's very rare. Like TechG, I've been in cybersecurity, and we just now start getting young people. When I was in there, I was the youngest person at 40. So a lot of times they want you, because if you mess up, we get hacked. I think the thing I think from cybersecurity is the SOC, because you're looking through logs and running. So I think from a cybersecurity, the SOC usually has junior people, because you taking down tickets, tracking down incidents, threat hunting, and looking at logs. So I think from a cybersecurity practice, the SOC, which is the Security Operations Center, they're looking at events coming in, logs, possible hacks. So you're looking in the screen and tracing down stuff. So those from an entry level, I think I would put those four in there.
And that honestly, that one question I had from that one dude, where is it at? Where I did the question earlier where the guy was talking about, he said he worked a help desk position, but he got experience with SIEM. It sounded like he may have been working in a SOC or adjacent to one.
That's the SOC. That's the SOC. Triage. That's the SOC. That's the junior part for the SOC. And two is that's where you start melding the help desk with the SOC, help desk with the programming, right? Because anything in a big company, you got to put a ticket in, right? So either you're gonna do it or you're gonna send it to the team that does it. And their junior people are gonna start looking at it before they start rising it up to the senior people.
Yeah.
So now that, like you said, that looks like a SOC now that you brought.
That's what I was thinking when I saw it. I was like, this guy doesn't even realize he already got some cybersecurity experience going on. He don't even realize it.
He's right there. Yeah, I was talking to a young person that had the SIM. And they want to get in GRC, which is Governance Risk and Analysis. So what we do is we give the requirements for the SIM. What events do you need to insert on from Windows? What events do you need to insert for SQL Server? What events are you keeping track of? Is that PCI for the credit card or HIPAA for the hospital? So that's where you do the SIM with the GRC, a part of cybersecurity, right? And cybersecurity is a big domain too, right? So it's just not one piece. You got the SOC, the SIM, GRC. Then we got the Cisco security people to make sure they harden it correctly. So it's a huge domain.
Yep. I always say you got the cyber paper pushers. That's what I like to call them. People who, matter of fact, they in alignment with the GRC stuff, where all they do is just do the policies and the regulations and stuff. And then when people think of cybersecurity, they think about the hackers and click-clacking away. Now you got a whole section that don't even deal with that stuff. They just do paperwork.
That's what I do all day. My boss won't let me touch a computer anymore. He said, we pay you too much. So like you said, I do policies and procedures. But the other part, like you said, the top level of that, I run incident response for the whole company. Yeah. Right. So I'm going to act like we got incidents to make sure the SIM is right, making sure the DBAs know what to do, make sure developers what to do. Cool, which is not a lot easier. If your building gets hit by a plane, where are you going to work the next day? Right. Do you have backups? Are you pushing those backups to the cloud? How quickly does those backups need to happen? Are you going to lose 6 hours worth of data? Only 1 hour worth of data, right? So like ChatG said, that's the paper pushing. What compliance are you doing? Are you at FedRAMP, HIPAA, FERPA for education, CJIS for FBI? All of that's just paperwork.
Yep. I'm doing volunteer work as an advisor on a big Discord server. I built several PCs too. I'm really good at hardware stuff. I'm only 19. I hope that stuff. Yeah, that stuff counts. We just need to figure out a way to dress it up and put it on a resume. That's what we need to do.
Then on those big Discord servers, are you advising them? So if you're advising them, you keep advising them, they need to say you advising to their company and give you a little credit so you can put it on your resume. So especially if you give them, like ChatG said, don't do too much for free, man. So that's payment back to you. If you get them free, that's what payment you need to see. I'm advising you to advise your company, and I need to put that on my resume so I can get credit for it.
Hell yeah. Honestly, my dream job is a sysadmin. I want to have that big responsibility to take care of everything related to it. I know they also pay well. What certs can take me there in you guys' opinion? To be a sysadmin, you just get your A+ and Network Plus, and maybe your CCNA, you up in there. Or maybe some type of Microsoft certification. What is it? What is the one? I know they got
Red Hat has a big one in Linux. You said Microsoft or Linux. Red Hat has a big one in Linux.
Well, I know Microsoft got rid of a bunch of certs, the MTAs, but what is it? They got, what is it, Office 365, and then there's another one. Is it the Azure? Maybe it's that. I think it might be that one. I don't know. I gotta go look it up. Okay. Those might get you a system administrator. Now, you say you want the responsibility of taking care of everything. I don't think you want that responsibility, bro. No, you don't.
It sounds cool till you get a call at 3 a.m. My bad. Go ahead.
No, that's exactly what I was going with this. Like, yeah, it sounds cool till that phone call rings at 3 o'clock in the morning, and everybody's jumping down your neck trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Nah, you don't want that. You just want you just sound like you want to put the position in the pay, but you don't want all that other crap that go with it, man.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. I've been there. I had PSTG for a while because when production go down, it's all hands, man. I stayed up like 26 hours straight one day trying to figure some stuff out with our top CTO, man. Because but the pay, like I said, the pay was fat, but man, that pressure, man. Because we were playing. I was working for DOD. We were paying retirees. They said the quickest way to get a man to come home is not pay his wife. So we took that shit serious, man. I still say that today. Make sure the warfighter get paid, man. I did that for a decade, but when them systems go down, and we be driving in at 3 a.m. and you there till you there. They order pizza, you gonna roll your sleeves up, man. So be careful what you ask for, player. Be careful what you ask for.
I was a system administrator when I worked for the NSA, right? And obviously the National Security Agency is a big deal. So we used to stay getting them phone calls all the time. I'd have to drive in and do this. Well, I used to hate that crap, man, but looks good on my resume, though.
Oh, yeah.
If y'all covered this already, my bad. I missed some of the stream. Would combining some IT certs and showcasing programming projects help a newbie, or just pick one? When you say combining IT certs, are you talking about different certs from different disciplines or lanes in IT? Is that what you mean by that? Like let's just say you got a bunch of cybersecurity related certs, and then you got something related to programming or database development. Like that, I'm trying to understand if that's what you mean by combining some IT certs.
Let me get a piece of that because that's what I do. Long story short is my first 10 years I started off as a programmer. But
that's what they're talking about, certs and coding. Okay.
Yeah. So let me grab this part. I programmed for the first 10 years and like we said in the old days, you know how I knew people. So when you get in cybersecurity and you program for 10 years, you know what cross-site scripting is, you know what cross-site forgery is. 2, as a programmer, I got to put my code somewhere. So I became a database admin because my code is connected to Oracle or SQL Server. On top of that, it's running on infrastructure. So I got good with Java, Apache, and Tomcat as infrastructure. So as you program, as you start stacking skills to test your programmer, all that skills come to happen. So when I went to cybersecurity, it's called Purple Team. The first thing gets tagged in a company is your web server because it's outward facing. So I knew all that infrastructure stuff because I was a programmer. So when you combine your programming with, like me, I got an AWS architect. I know what a VM is. I know how to make my Java code, and I know how to take Java and connect it to an AWS Aurora, which basically is a MySQL database in the cloud, right? So all those skills stack and build on each other. And that's when you get paid, when you have multiple skills. Now you can become a CTO or a senior architect. So that's what architect does. You become a full stack person all the way from the disk all the way up to a VM, all the way up to an Oracle database, and how that's connected. And on top of that, you know how to secure it because you know what it is. Go ahead, Tech G.
No, you good, man. You answered the question.
So yeah, that's what I did, and that's how I got in because I was setting up code that went with Apache and Tomcat. So when I got on the security team, I was really the only one that knew what that was because most people don't code, they get into security, they start with the infrastructure.
White Shark.
No, Jaws. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. I know.
I thought he said Wireshark.
Yeah, that's the first thing I was thinking of. Wireshark. I know what Wireshark is.
Yeah, I don't know. That shit
I don't know what White Shark is.
No, man.
Didn't know it can get that bad. The companies in Romania that were offering those jobs didn't seem that big, even if you had bad experiences. Did you guys gain a lot of experience as a sysadmin? I mean, I did. I mean, as a sysadmin, I was still doing some tier 1, tier 2 stuff, resetting passwords, username accounts, but I also was managing OUs because, I was in charge of the whole Active Directory thing. And, then I also combined the fact that I worked at the NSA at the time. So I was dealing with a bunch of specialized military equipment over there for military purposes. So, yeah, you're going to get a lot of experience. You're not just this. Really, it's going to be dependent upon the company and the role and the actual job that you're hired to do and what you can and can't do. You know what I'm saying? So that's the first thing. But regardless, in general, you will get a lot of experience doing tier 1, tier 2 type of stuff. Yeah, I got that's the best answer I can give for you on that.
Yeah, like I said, I did a little bit, but our system admin, everything runs on a system, so they get good at Oracle. You start talking about open files and pits. So when you're a system admin, you start installing software, you become SMEs in the software that run on there. Me as a programmer, I had to reach out to the system admin. He was like, oh, there's an error in there. You don't have enough open files. I'm like, well, how many files you got open? 250. Well, you need to create 1,000. So as you become a system admin, you start working with the other teams, especially as a senior, you start learning Oracle, SQL Server, because you got to set certain files on the system so that stuff can run. Even the DBA can't set it, because a lot of stuff is at the root level, which only the essays can get to the root level, right? Like I deal with the certificates for a web server. The sysadmin had to put the certificate out there so I could combine the GoDaddy certificate into the web server, because I couldn't touch it as the web admin. Only the sysadmin can do it, because you got to be at the root level. So when you start doing that, you start working with this different software packages, and you become a SME, like we talked about. Those skills start stacking on each other.
Oh. Yeah. So he has a YouTube channel. Let me take this comment off. It's Professor Black Ops, cybersecurity for the people. That's what it's called, right? Yeah.
Yep. You'll see it out there. Just Google it. You'll see my face show up. You'll see me in there.
Yeah. If I can, I'm gonna try to find it. I'm gonna drop this link.
I appreciate you,
Professor. Where you at? All right, yeah, I'm about to drop the link to his channel. Hold on.
Yeah, I got like 2,800 subs. Trying to get up there with you one day, man. Start living that great YouTube life with my $1 a day I make.
Hey, listen, I keep telling y'all, man, you cannot, unless you're getting tens of thousands of views of video, you're not gonna be living the life off of YouTube AdSense. You have to sell a product or something else. That's just the way it is. So
yeah, I make all my money really on super chats, and it ain't like I'm the lead attorney, man. I call it the barbecue fund. I make about $90 a month for the barbecue fund.
Yeah, so.
Facts, man.
Is it best to buy a comp to your course before Friday? Oh man, look at this. So if you go to TechG's, TechG got you, baby. Let me pull this up. I got a Black Friday sale going through the end of this month, man. You got 10 days left. You get the Thanksgiving discount, 25% off. Put Turkey 25. So far, I got IT Fundamentals A+ and Network Plus, and my Security Plus will be coming up there pretty soon. And then I got to redo the Security Plus for the freaking new one that just came out.
Yeah, but, I saw that too.
Anyways, you go visit my site. Let me post that up in there for you, in case you want to get that in your life. But yeah, I got the sales going on. There you go, right there.
Yeah, I always go to TechG first, but the other one that's pretty good that I probably got 10 packages. Udemy always give a $15.99 or something like every other month. So I get one off of there, man. Get text first, but once again, programming, I'm trying to learn Power Apps, and Power BI is the new hot thing, and combine that with cybersecurity so you can do dashboards for executives. So that's kind of from a programming perspective in cybersecurity. That's what I've been working on, my Power BI skills.
So somebody says that old dude you roasted from Reg the Bad Guys channel need to be in here getting this info. So
facts, I saw that, man.
Yeah, so I don't even know if we want to go into that conversation.
Let it go. Let it go. Go ahead.
It was just weird to me because the dude is in his 50s trying to give advice to young people with no real life experience whatsoever. None. Like absolutely none. And it was kind of bothering me because I was just like, I just don't know why people listen to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, because if you hear him talk, if you didn't know his backstory, you would think he's just like, oh, this wonderful motive. And he might be a wonderful guy. But then when he disclosed his life story, and then he was telling about recent events in the past 2 years. It was one thing if you're talking about struggles from 10, 15 years ago. You're talking about some stuff he just went through like within the past year or two. But then you're trying to give advice. I was like, nah, you need to be doing something else with your life. Hopefully he got his mind right, though. Shout out to that dude, man.
Just real quick, and I had a discussion with a couple of people and I always tell, and I'm up there, I'll be 56. I think old dudes be losing relevance, and I always tell old people in myself, sometimes you got to get out the way and let young people do their things. It's like Al Bundy, man. He scored his 4 touchdowns in high school, so I think people want to relive that, man. I'm just at a comfortable part of my life where I came here to assist people. Tech
Well,
G just whispering his ear a little bit, but I think a lot of I don't want to cuss ends. They don't want to get out the way yet, man, because they trying to relive their youth, man. I made good years, good money for a decade, so I'm not hurt. Like you said, that brother was like you said 2 years ago, he damn near homeless. I'm like, dude, you should be talking. If you was 10 years, you had me feeling sorry for him, Tech G. You was just eating him up so bad. Go ahead.
I say he was homeless almost 2 years ago, but his whole mission in life is how to get women. It's like, bro, you need to be figuring out how not to be homeless at 50-something years old. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't believe, but with these older dudes that come on YouTube, they treat YouTube like the 13th grade. Right. You know, they're just stuck in this what's the term? Arrested development, man. And they try to come on here and reinvent themselves. And I'm not saying that everybody has to come on here and demonstrate that they got all this arty smarty knowledge about their profession. You know, there's the educational side and there's the fun side of YouTube, and we all like to mix and match it. But I guess sometimes I get irritated when I'm just like, bruh, you can't be on YouTube talking about how you was just homeless 2 years ago in your 50s. Right. And your biggest concern every time I hear you on YouTube is you talking about how to get women. You can't do that. It has to stop. Somebody has to call this out. It was just too much.
Well, I think my thing is you're 100% correct, but I always go to Maslow pyramid. Are you at the basis where you just trying to eat, not be homeless and get a little box, or you at the top trying to help people, right? So obviously he's a little lower on the pyramid than the box, right? So I try to put on Maslow pyramid. You know, he's trying to get to the top where, like you said, you have the people, you got a skill set, you a SME in a certain thing, and you're trying to help people. He at the bottom trying to, you know, get a burger and some box, right? So everybody's got a little place on the pyramid, though. That's my go ahead.
Yeah, we done with him. You know, whatever. I'm gonna leave him alone. Like I said, I said my piece and I left it. I'm just like, I can't do this no more. All right, well, I'm about to get ready to go in a few because I got to teach a class at 7:00. You got anything else you want to say before we get ready to get up out of here?
No, I think you said it much. You work on your skills, and for me, I think, and he put it perfectly, is you got to work on your fundamentals, man. All that stuff really stacks on it. I do a lot of AWS. I'm AWS fanboy. When I spin up infrastructure, it's a Unix box, so I need to figure out how to move in a Unix box. If I spin up a 2019 Windows server, I need to figure out how to connect that to Active Directory. All of those are base level skills you need to learn, right? To me, before you really get to the cloud. Because if you spin up something, I spin up something and I didn't do the login script right. If I don't know where the login script in Unix is, then my whole cloud stuff ain't gonna work. So you need those basic fundamentals. Tech G got the classes, sign up. He's obviously more than qualified to teach you. That's all I got, man.
All right. And once again, y'all go check out. I'm gonna put his link in there, Professor Black Ops. That's his YouTube channel. Y'all go show him some love out in these YouTube streets. He does a lot of tech news, everything that's going on in the industry. So, you know, he's really proficient with that. So appreciate you popping through, bruh.
Appreciate it.
All right, be easy, man.
I'm out, man.
All right, later. Yeah, I appreciate everybody coming through. Appreciate all y'all who stopping through. Also with the live stream. So those of y'all who are part of the memberships, I'm gonna leave all the live streams up for 24 hours and then I'm putting them in the membership. They'll be under the Tech G supporter, the $1.99 membership. So that's where they'll be. So y'all like, why are you doing that? I don't know. I saw somebody else doing it. I thought it was a good idea. That's why. If you want me to be honest with you, I was like, that's not a bad idea. Anyways, I got to go teach a class in about 30 minutes. I feel comfortable enough to take the 1101, but just don't have the bread for the second exam. What more can I do to increase my value as a candidate for my next role? Skip it and try Network Plus. What? Oh, I feel comfortable taking the 1101, just not the bread for the second test. What more can I do to increase my value as a candidate and for my next role? Skip it. All right. The Network Plus test costs more than the A Plus test. Just to let you, just to put that out there for you, just in case you didn't know. I would just go ahead and try to focus on the A Plus test because what it is, a lot of the stuff in Network Plus is covered in A Plus. So what do I mean? So A+ is going to be like, hey, this is what this is, yada yada yada, and then the Network Plus is going to go into more deeper detail. So it's probably in your best interest, because basically the test is built off on top of the A+. So it's probably in your best interest to just do the A+. Now, if you don't have the money to take the test, I understand that, but you can still find avenues to learn the material, so that hopefully when you do get the money up, you can go take that certification exam, instead of just trying to go into the Network Plus. And then, because like I said, the Network Plus test costs more money off the jump. CompTIA tests are expensive, in case you guys didn't realize that. But the Network Plus test costs more money. So if you can't afford the A+ hard software test, you're not going to be able to afford the Network Plus test, is what I'm trying to tell you. All right. Anyways, I got to go. So appreciate y'all chiming in. I got to go teach the class at 7 o'clock. And some of y'all were asking about when I'm going to do these A+ boot camps again. So probably starting maybe mid-January going into February, I'm probably going to start promoting the next A+ boot camp, where I'll be teaching it, or whatever the case may be. I'm thinking about putting together a Network Plus and or Security Plus one. I'm just not sure yet. Then I'm supposed to be working on something else, but at least with the A+, and the A+ is live instruction from yours truly, where I explain all this stuff to you. And then also you do a bunch of lab work, which the lab work qualifies as, it can qualify as hands-on experience and all that stuff. So it's a very, it can be very intense, but you get through it and pass. I think you'll come out feeling better on the other side. Anyways, if you still want to learn the stuff, you can go sub to my channel memberships, $10 a month. I put the A+ class in there. And I think $15 a month gets you A+, Net Plus, Security Plus, all the past live streams. You get the whole kit and caboodle. And people use my stuff and pass all the time, because like I said at the beginning of this video, I got people that tell me their college professors use my courses in their classrooms. Like I've had one person all the way from as far as New Zealand to a couple people in California to some high school teachers in my city who don't even know I live in this city that be using my stuff in their class. So shout out to all y'all. Anyways, I'm about to chuck deuces. Y'all be safe, and I appreciate everybody coming through. And with that, I'm out. Peace. Hit the subscribe button. Peace.